So how did you come about meeting Lynch? Because at that time, was he Brotha Lynch or was he?
He was. Yeah, it was a nice call. He was Brotha Lynch, and me and my DJ Time Bomb. Shout out Time Bomb. We had a little crew. We had a group called the Bastard Sons. He was the DJ. I was the rapper. We went to a studio. I forget the name of it. That was engineered by a rocker who didn't know how to mix fucking hip hop, and we knew that. Like we heard it, and it was like, this ain't right. And I forget where I heard it from, but someone said there's a guy engineering at Enharmonic. Shout out Enharmonic.
That's legendary studio.
Yeah. Who knew how to mix, who was about that shit. And so I requested him, and that's how I met Lynch on the first day that we went there to drop our first song.
So did Lynch already, I know he had local infamy, but had Nigga Deep come out yet? Like, was he Brotha Lynch when you met him, or was he just kind of like trying to get on?
I'm not good with the timelines. 24 Deep was out, or it was about to come out.
All right.
So the hype was there. The energy was there. And the first session, Time Bomb laid down the beat, and it was a banger. And Lynch was like, I'm looking forward to hearing you spit. Yeah. And so then the next session, I spit, and that's when we started vibing.
Got you. What was your impression of Lynch when meeting him? Like, you hear him and you have your expectation, then once you met him and got to know him, what was that experience?
Well, for me, it was the other way around. I got to meet him without any expectations.
Okay.
And then I got to see him grow as an artist. And from day one, the man's talent is undeniable.
Right.
It was, I think at that point, I didn't think about making the music myself. I was just writing the rhymes. But he was the whole get down. He could
now,
make
when you
the
say
music.
write the rhymes, write your rhymes or help write his?
No, write my rhymes.
Okay.
We're from the generation where you got to pen your own shit.
No, that's right.
You know what I mean?
Just wanted to clarify.
I feel you. Dr. Dre gets a pass. Eazy-E gets a pass.
That's right.
Drake does not get a pass.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I'm from that generation where, it was about that originality.
So being that, because at that time, Lynch was an outlier, that with the horrorcore, like nobody else, I ain't gonna say nobody. You kind of had Gangsta Nip, you had Esham, but for the most part, especially on the West Coast, I would say Lynch was the first one that we heard doing the horrorcore. So you having just a reference point of regular hip hop, like how did that, what he was doing, how did you process that? Like, were you like, I don't know about this, bro, or like, nah, hell nah, we doing this?
When I heard Return of the Baby Killer, before it was dropped in the studio, he just wrote it and spit it to me. I was a little bit like, what? Like, okay, so this is where we're going?
Yeah.
And listen, man, it is a testament to, like, out of the whole horrorcore genre, it is a testament to Lynch's skill and his ability to channel that energy. He's the one that people were like, this guy might be serious.
Right.
I think a lot of people look at that genre as a little bit pastiche.
Yeah.
A little bit kind of play acting, cosplay, whatever you want to call it. But we'd be on tour and people would come up to me like, hey, does he really eat people? Grown ass adults asking that question. Like, that's the thing. As an artist, as a recording artist, like we, after a while, we tend to understand cadence and tone and delivery, right? And there's times where it's a performance and there's times where it's like really coming from something.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the reasons why the shit that Kendrick just dropped had a lot of resonance, because it's like, this sounds like this is how you really fucking feel.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And Lynch had that energy in what he was doing.
Yeah. I've seen him talk about that, and I think he attributed it to his kind of isolation and being an only child and listening to a lot of different genres, Black Sabbath, and, just kind of merging and fusing that rock with his imagination, and then just kind of being by himself, and left to his own thoughts. I think that's how he said he concocted that. So I think he probably did create this whole world of his that he was, vicariously just putting through music. Because it did sound, because Siccmade, I don't know, y'all whole crew just kind of had this thing. Like, it was.
Well, I don't know though, because
it was
I was thinking about it as we're talking. I'm like, but you didn't really get that with Mr. Doc.
Yeah.
Like he wasn't doing that.
But that's not.
I didn't get that from you.
But that's not who we heard first. When Siccmade, who we heard was Lynch. Well, I'm talking from Missouri, Kansas City, Missouri.
Yeah. Okay.
So our introduction to Lynch Siccmade was X-rated.
Right.
And 24 Deep.
Yep.
So when you put psychoactive,
right,
it
that
makes
sickness.
the crew. Yeah. So how you start? That was the introduction. So we like, damn, this group.
Well,
of niggas
from
is
Sacramento, again, it's not Siccmade to me on the north side. It's Black Market.
Right.
Because then
True.
I'm
was
getting
the
introduced.
paradigm.
And I'm from Highlands, and then Highlands because they're off in the south.
Yeah.
So we were like, yo, who's in the south fucking tearing shit up? And it was X and Lynch and you had Sibo also from the neighborhood, but kind of doing his own thing.
Bo was different. Yeah.
Bo
His
was
shit
different.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was Black Market.
Yeah.
To me, that was like the Hounds of the Underground, all the taglines you guys used to have.
Right.
That was like the Black Market sound.
Right. Because I'm going to be honest with you. When I think of y'all's crew and I think of Sac and even Black Market, I think of Psychoactive and the sickness. The song "The Sickness" that painted the pictures like this is what these cats is about. I don't know if these dudes is sitting in pentagrams, drinking 40s.
And then on top of that, look, shout out to X because that is what you think of.
Yeah.
But then you also got Homicide,
Right.
also who.
True.
Everyone.
But
It was like
Homicide. Now again, I'm an out of towner.
Yeah.
So in Kansas City, from our vantage point, Homicide was there, but X and Lynch.
No,
is
I
what
would never. Yeah,
laid
X
that
is
whole
Lynch.
Siccmade
But
thing.
when you thought about it, you got a dude named Homicide.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like
Yeah.
it was the Black Market
Right.
sound. And everybody, look, if you was into town like I was, and even fucking with music, everybody wanted to be part of it. Like everybody wanted to be down with it. Like,
Yeah.
So
as
let me
close
ask
as
you,
we could get to it.
What was your first time in the studio, like recording? Like, what made you it's a two-part question. So when did you decide to formulate Siccmade, to say, hey, you know what? Let's put this crew together. Let's go get COS. Let's go get the Tall Can, all these other cats.
Zag.
Shout out to Zag. And then the fact that you guys are a multicultural crew as
Heist.
well.
Right.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Heistables.
I mean, y'all got white guys, black dudes. I think COS is Mexican or something. Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or mixed.
Yeah, or mixed. You know what I mean? Who formulated that? Whose idea was that?
So Siccmade kind of formulated between 24 Deep and Loaded. I don't know how. I think at this point there was some awareness that the independent route had power to it, to do our own thing, to have our own label. We were seeing what Master P was doing, and so the idea of, especially because of the skullduggery going on over a Black Market, I think the idea was to form our own crew and do our own thing. And I was definitely very die-hard about it. Like at one point after That's What I Said came out, there was, Art came to me and said, Master P's interested in signing you.
Shout out to Art Battle.
Shout out to RB.
I just talked to Art literally about a week ago.
Nice, yeah. And it didn't even cross my mind. I was like, nah, man, I'm not pen and pixel album covers in the South,
You wasn't feeling that, Loki?
I was feeling it, but
it didn't fit what you were doing.
It didn't fit us, and Siccmade, we were going to take over the world. This is at a point where we're just now becoming aware that you could actually make a fuck ton of money at this.
Yeah,
so
I understand.
Our original intentions were a little more pure and a little more driven by creativity and expression than just the bag.
Got you.
And so, eventually, I remember hearing when Missy Elliott had like a $250,000 to $500,000 budget for a music video, or when E40 got $3 million for a distro deal.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
he was on the cover.
He was on the cover.
Yeah.
That was like a big
Was it
deal.
the
Didn't it
Source
say
or
three-
Rap Pages?
No, I think it was the Source.
And it said the $3
$3
million
million
deal.
Yeah.
Which is nothing compared to what happens
Nothing.
now.
And by the
Yeah.
way, E40 had a very unique deal with that. But go ahead.
Right.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, like, we were starting to become aware that this could be a lifelong vocation.
Yeah.
It wasn't just, a bunch of kids on the street fucking around anymore.
Right.
So I think the idea, and I'll just speak from my perspective, the idea was to put together this crew, and the talent was insane. Like, just everyone had elements that they were bringing to it. We
Like
felt
Voltron.
unstoppable.
It was like Voltron.
Yeah.
Everybody had their role.
Yeah. and we felt unstoppable.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on, I don't want to. I tangent sometimes. That's my. I apologize.
Go ahead, do your thing.
But I just want to personally know, because I don't even think over 20 fucking plus years I've ever asked you this question. What happened to Loke to the Brain? I come from the era of the tapes. You remember the picture inside of the tape?
Loke to the Brain.
Where it was like sitting on a park bench or something. And it said Loke to the Brain coming soon. It was maybe on Season of the Sickness on the inside.
So what was that? A crew within? Was that a group or?
I think that was supposed to be a group.
Okay, because I thought it was just a song.
No, so I forget if it's on 24 Deep or Season, but this is back when you had tape. So the tape would fucking fold out.
It was on Season.
It had to be Season.
It was on Season.
But on the inside there was like the next thing up.
Yeah.
It was Loke to the Brain coming soon, and it was a picture, and I was like, oh yeah. I mean,
I don't recall if that was Mr. Doctor's brainchild or Lynch's, but it was definitely going to be a crew. And that was Zag's debut, which lit that track up.
It was, yeah.
So I think the idea was to have a group come out of it.
Yeah.
But that didn't materialize.
Okay.
Yeah.